All right, in political news, Joe Biden allegedly, reportedly, has lied for decades about marching in the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement. Now, let me pull this article up. This is from News One. It says, Joe Biden has reportedly lied for decades about marching in the civil rights movement. The former vice president's support, this video just popped up, among black voters seems unwavering. It says, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders might have elicited groans from one audience when he recently repeated his often cited line that he marched with the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but at least he was telling the truth. It says a new report claims that former Vice President Joe Biden, who has been holding a big lead atop the Democratic presidential polls since he announced his candidacy in April, has repeatedly and knowingly lied about his involvement in the civil rights movement despite advisors reminding him of the truth. Biden has kept telling the story anyway, says according to a damning report from the New York Times. I think this guy's name is Matt Flegenheimer. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So there we go. It's not looking good for Biden. Oh man, it's not looking good for Biden. Somebody posted a YouTube clip of Joe Biden and the many crazy things that Biden has said over the years, and it is the best way to describe it is I don't know, man. I was so sure that Biden would take Trump out. And now I'm looking like, oh, this guy, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. This guy's lying about marching with Martin Luther King in the civil rights movement. Not a good look. Especially when you need that black vote. You need that minority vote. Period. It's not a good look, man. It's not a good look. And you know, because I'm always going to have a clip for every damn thing. It's what I do. I'm the clip monster. Of course, I have a clip of it. You know, Republicans couldn't wait to jump on this one. This just made their damn day. A Democrat gets caught up in a moment of hypocrisy. They had to play this. So anyway, as a matter of fact, they went out of their way to repost a clip. I thought I was the clip monster, but a Republican YouTube channel called GOP War Room. And I know it's a Republican YouTube channel because it has the elephant logo. So anyway, CNN responds to it. And of course, they tried their best to laugh it off and downplay it. But I don't know, man. I don't know if you can downplay this.
Jeff, eye-opening lead in a New York Times profile of Joe Biden's 1988 presidential campaign, the first time he ran for president. He lied to voters, according to the New York Times, quoting aides of Biden's, about having marched in the civil rights movement. This is Biden making this false claim in 1987.
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I did not march with a 12-point program. I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes.
And The New York Times reports, quote, more than once, advisors had gently reminded Mr. Biden of the problem with this formulation. He had not actually marched during the civil rights movement, and more than once, Mr. Biden assured them that he understood, kept telling the story anyway. That is really, really weird.
It is, and the story was a reminder that in that 88 race, he was one of the younger candidates. He was 44 years old. He was the new generation.
Again, let me say this. This is CNN, so you don't get confused. This is CNN trying to laugh off Biden's big lie about marching with Dr. Martin Luther the King, as they would say in Coming to America. Dr. Martin Luther the King back in during the civil rights movement. Again, as News One said in their article, Bernie Sanders likes to bring it up a lot, but at least Bernie's telling the truth. Whereas Biden, man, damn it. I really did not get the whole Bernie thing for a minute. And I felt like Biden stood a better chance of defeating Trump. I don't know anymore. Maybe the Bernie people were right. Because I'm going to tell you something, man. Trump is the type of person, see a little thing like this, Trump will take this and flip it on you. He will take this. It might be something small, but I'm telling you, Trump will get you. The only thing I think Biden has going for him, man, I don't even know if he's going to do this right. I think in the debates, when I look, see, the debates are really going to be key, I think, in this election, as it's supposed to be in all elections. But I think most of the time people make up their mind who they want before the damn debates, even before it even comes down to the presidential debates. People have already made it up in their mind who they're going to vote for. But I think that the 2020 election is going to come down to the debates, I think. I think more so than other elections. I'm rambling. Let me go back to the clip again. And
But
just
It's really, really weird.
it is, and the story was
let me
a
replay
reminder
it.
that
Kept telling the story anyway. That is really, really weird.
It is, and the story was a reminder that in that 88 race, he was one of the younger candidates. He was 44 years old. He was the new generation. But if you haven't read the book of What It Takes about the 1988 campaign, the rich chapters of Joe Biden and others, but it does point out a problem, a challenge for Joe Biden. Has he fixed that issue? When he gets very comfortable out on the stump, speaking and other things, he has tended to embellish. He has tended to, make things sound slightly rosier than they are. Now, his aides went back to say, look, he was in office marching for the idea of civil rights, but was not actually marching in the streets. But that would not fly as much. And he was supporting civil rights. But I'm saying that in today's
the word marching.
of Twitter, okay.
I know, you're just telling what they said.
Right.
Yeah,
In the age of Twitter today, Instagram, there will be pictures of him not marching.
That's
So you cannot get away with that in this moment. So that's his big challenge.
Yeah.
Can he modernize himself, and has he sort of brushed away all those old tendencies he had that ultimately ended to him dropping out before the Iowa caucuses by, because he plagiarized a speech.
So, you see them trying to laugh it off. Oh, Joe. They're trying to run with this Uncle Joe thing. Oh, it's Uncle Joe. Whew. Anyway, it's politics as usual. They're trying to explain it away. Oh, Joe Biden tends to make things seem rosier than what they really are. fact of the matter is he flat out lied. And this is not good. It's not going to kill him. It's not going to destroy him. It's not going to end his political career. It's not going to be the one determining factor in the presidential race, the 2020 presidential race. But what it will do, what it's doing for me is it's giving me a insight. It's giving me a different outlook on why people did not like Biden. Why he ran. I think he's ran twice before and lost. It makes sense now. This kind of stuff. Listen, we may see 4 more years of Trump. Because Biden's going to win the nomination. Biden is going to win the Democratic nomination. And damn it, if Biden doesn't get it together, I'm telling you, if he doesn't get it together, when he runs into Trump, because what Trump is good at is Trump points out your weakness and he beats you to death with it. Whatever your weakness is, that's what Trump is going to go after. He smells blood. He's like a shark in the water. He smells blood. He's going to get you. Biden better get it together. I feel like Biden would be a better debater. He could bring up, I think that Biden overall is a better presidential candidate than Trump. But the problem is Trump doesn't run for office the same way that most politicians, most presidential candidates will. Trump treats the presidential election like it's a boxing match. Okay? That's the difference. So Biden had better get it together real quick. Or we're going to have 4 more years of Trump. I'm just going to leave it at that. You're listening to the Morrow Report podcast via the Victor Morrow Show and themorrowreport.com. Okay, this next clip is from Now This Is News, and it's featuring Joe Neguse of the 2nd District of Colorado. The clip is kind of self-explanatory. What he does is he exposes what many Republicans, and I'm not talking about active Republican politicians. I'm talking about regular Joe the plumber Republican voters. What they think the DREAM Act does. A lot of them think that the DREAM Act protects criminals, gangbangers, and, murderers. But it doesn't. Okay? Now, how you feel about illegal immigration, that's on you. But what Joe Neguse of the 2nd District of Colorado is about to bring out is the truth about the DREAM Act. It does not protect criminals and gangbangers. It does not. There's this false narrative that is being ran and pushed among conservatives especially, that somehow, like the DREAM Act is something that Democrats came up with to give a safe haven for gang members and criminals. It's not true. So he's going to bring the bill out, or that DREAM Act out, and actually show you what's in it. Okay? And he's going to expose the hypocrisy of the Republicans at the same damn time. Again, this is Joe Neguse, U.S. Representative, 2nd District of Colorado. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this is a little bit Hollywood. It is a bit theatrical and you know, but he gets his point across.
Spare me! Spare me! Mr. Speaker, I may be new to Washington, but apparently I've learned something that the other side of the aisle has not, which is how to read a bill. If you go to page 12, line 21 of this bill, you will learn that gang members are not eligible under H.R. 6. Mr. Speaker, if you don't believe me, I will quote the bill. That the applicant knowingly, willfully, and voluntarily participated in offenses committed by a criminal street gang with the intent to promote or further the commission of such offenses may be denied by the Secretary of the Homeland Security. So, look, no, spare me, spare me. Mr. Speaker,
the gentleman will suspend. The gentleman will suspend. Members will come to order. The chair will remind all persons in the gallery that they are here as guests of the House and that any manifestation of approval or disapproval of proceedings in violation is in violation of the rules of the House. The gentleman may proceed.
I would ask my colleagues to spare me this false outrage, because if this really were about gang violence, my colleagues have continuously had opportunities to pass legislation that would curb that threat. If this were about gun violence and gang violence, where were my Republican colleagues last year when Congressman Connolly introduced H.R. 5960, a bill actually called Preventing Gang Violence Act of 2018, a bill that they killed in committee? If my colleagues
will suspend. Members, you must come to order and respect the gentleman's time. The gentleman may proceed.
If my colleagues across the aisle truly wanted to combat gang violence, why did they refuse to let H.R. 1297, the Youth Promise Act, come out of committee when it was introduced in the 114th Congress by Congressman Scott? At the end of the day, there is no question that no one is interested in allowing gang members to benefit from the Dream and Promise Act, and that is why this bill addresses this exact issue. At the end of the day, the Secretary has the ability to deny any applicant if they have directly participated in gang activity, even if they have not been convicted of a crime. Mr. Speaker, what we have lost in the debate today, in my view, is what this bill is all about at its core. I rise today not just as a member of this body, not just as a proud American, but as the son of immigrants, as the son of African refugees who came to the United States, over 35 years ago from a war-torn country in East Africa. They became naturalized citizens, and they never forgot nor took for granted the freedom and the opportunities that the United States of America gave them and their children. I would like to offer a quote, and the quote is as follows. It is bold men and women yearning for freedom and opportunity who leave their homelands and come to a new country to start their lives over. They believe in the American dream, and over they make it come true for themselves, for their children, and for others. They give more than they receive. They labor and succeed. And often they are entrepreneurs, but their greatest contribution is more than economic, because they understand in a special way how glorious it is to be an American. That quote, that's not my words. Those are the words of President Ronald Reagan. They were delivered by President Ronald Reagan
In 1980, the same year my parents came to the United States. Let's pass the H.R. 6 today, and let's treat every person in our country who has struggled and is just as American as you and I are. Let's treat them with the respect that they deserve. Vote no on this motion to recommit, and let's pass H.R. 6 today. I yield back.
That is from Now This Is News. And like I said, it's a bit dramatic, a bit Hollywood, but he gets his point across. And he exposes the GOP and their hypocrisy because they were claiming that the DREAM Act benefits gang members somehow. And again, like I said, fear is important when it comes to the argument of the wall, the border, illegal immigration, fear. Just like they Alex Jones did this. He told everyone Obama was going to take your guns. Never did it. But he swore that he would. And that got everyone riled up. So what Joe Neguse just did was not only did he expose them, but he used Ronald Reagan to expose the GOP, the Republicans, because they love to talk about Ronald Reagan. Let's bring back the Reagan years. They always talk about, Ronald Reagan is a sore spot. A lot of people don't. What Joe Neguse did was very timely and very well planned, well played, very strategic. Using Reagan, he quoted Reagan to get his point across. Was just perfect. Like I said, it's a little dramatic, with the almost pretending to cry thing at the end. But he made his point. And at the end of the day, the DREAM Act does not benefit gang members like some conservatives would like to have you believe. And they're not getting free stuff. There's a funny story behind that. I had there was this white guy, conservative, and he was, we were talking politics, and it was a respectful conversation, and I let him know I'm not on either side really, but he was complaining, he was pissed off because he was telling me how. I'm sorry for laughing so much. This shit just funny to me sometimes. But he was complaining about how illegal immigrants get all this free stuff. They get free health care. They don't get harassed by police. They get pulled over by a police officer and the police don't arrest them. And he just went down a laundry list of complaints. Things that he says, I don't know how true they are, but he claims that illegal immigrants get benefits that American citizens don't get. And I thought it was hilarious. But anyway, point being made, the DREAM Act does not benefit gang members. Okay? That's it. Don't let your conservative friends get you all riled up into thinking that somehow Obama passed this bill to help gang members come into the United States and rape and rob and murder and destroy America. Because that's what's being pushed in conservative news cycles and news media. And it's just simply not true. It just is not true. So Trump makes a deal with Mexico. And politically, it is a very, it looks good. It looks good. I went on a lot of the Republican websites, forums, even YouTube, just to see how they reacted. And of course, they were like, "Oh, this is great, Mr. President. Great job, Mr. President." So Trump was threatening to put tariffs. He's the tariff man, right? So anyway, the tariffs are no more supposedly on Mexico because they've come up with this deal, and the deal is Mexico is supposedly going to send their National Guard to the border, and that's going to slow down the flow of migrants to America. So we're going to see what actually happens, but I'll pull this up right quick. This is the clip from Fox News. Of course, they were ecstatic. And then I want to read some comments in the comment board and just kind of give you a feel of what the Republican side is saying.
And there's no doubt that people that hate us are looking to exploit that weakness.
Well, Brett, we have some breaking news. Speaking of the border that deals with the border, we thank you very much. But we have some very good news that President Trump is announcing a deal. Apparently, a deal has been reached with Mexico. The president just tweeting out, "I am pleased to inform you that the United States of America has reached a signed agreement with Mexico." It is signed. The tariffs scheduled to be implemented by the U.S. on Monday against Mexico are hereby indefinitely suspended. Mexico, in turn, has agreed to take strong measures to stem the tide of migration through Mexico and to our southern border. This is being done to greatly reduce or eliminate illegal immigration coming from Mexico into the United States. Details of the agreement will be released shortly by the Department of State. I think it says be there. I think it means by the Department of State. Thank you. Well, thank you, Mr. President. This is news that undoubtedly is going to affect the market in a very positive way. Already today, we had an up day, an up week, in fact, the first up week in several weeks on the market. But this clearly will make Monday's session a very interesting to watch and undoubtedly a very positive market session.
So anyway, that was Fox Business News. Hopefully I can pull this back up again. I wanted to read some of the comments in the comment board. I'm sorry, I know I'm banging all over the damn microphone trying to get these comments going. So let's see if I can pull this up right quick. Okay. All right, here we go. It says, this one guy puts in a comment board. I thought this was funny. It says, "Buy American, better quality and value for your money." I'm laughing because, okay, we read it again. Read it again. This commenter says, "Buy American, better quality and value for your money." And another person writes, "I'm right there with you, sir." Another person puts, "And put Americans to work." You're going to see why I'm laughing in a second. And this other person puts, "Yes, buy local." So these people are all, buy American, right? Get rid of these factories that are in these foreign countries, right? So they're all, pro-American, and that's fine and dandy. But this is the funny part right here. It says, this one person writes, "I thought I was buying American when I purchased my Dodge Ram. Mexico was stamped everywhere underneath. Also," it says, "also, I saw a cool shirt at a Tractor Supply that said buy local, but the tag says made in Bangladesh. So it's just funny to me that some people haven't figured out yet that even the stuff that they're purchasing that says made in America was more than likely made somewhere else, or oh man, they haven't figured this thing out yet. I just thought it was funny. I thought it was freaking hilarious. You're listening to the Morrow Report podcast via the Victor Morrow Show and themorrowreport.com.